Hey folks, this is Jimmy here in strange Vermont with the stone walls of New England right here. And I want to show you how straight this wall is. We talk about these walls twisting and curving through the woods, but well, that may be true. This one's pretty straight. And it's all built down onto the ledge under these leaves, or most of it. Highest point being where the serpent head is, right there. We're going to walk over here and see the ledge. Perfect spot to build a wall that you want to make stay and last. If you put it on dirt, it's going to fall down eventually. Put it on ledge, it'll stay for centuries. Now some people would say, well, how old is this wall? It can't be that old. Glaciers and all that. Well, that's probably a different story, but due to the artifacts I found with the images on it, goes back many thousands of years. Inside vaults, inside the wall, there's chambers and hollow chambers in some of the sections with carvings of mammoth and buffalo and golden inlaid eyes and of people, portraits of people. And I can only suppose they were the megalithic builders that we all talk about and marvel at their structures. And well, that's what this is. It's a megalithic wall. And that's what I call the star stone right there. You can see it. It's all carved out into a circular shape, placed in the wall. And there's plenty of stones that go along it, along the horizon line. It's like a serpent going right through the wall. Come over here, you can see the tunnel in the wall. Sights the horizon. And if you get a little closer, the floor of that tunnel, when the sun is on the horizon behind it, will lick some light up through there certain times of the year. It looks like a fin, serpent with a fin. And an Abenaki told me that there are legends of sea serpents. This is the spiral right here. And you could take a pencil and you could draw the spiral around. Trying to construct this thing would be very difficult. You can see it's between two very large pieces of bedrock, and they set it up in there. I don't have any nubs here for you, Ziggy, but I do have notches. I'll show you the notch. Right there. There's a piece of orange quartz under pressure under this boulder, and it's notched out, which tells you it was placed there for a reason specifically. It wasn't just thrown together. There's a circle on top of the wall. Huge piece of stone right there. I couldn't imagine anyone wanting to move that. Bring it all the way up here from down there. Another stone circle. This is interesting. It's a granite type stone. It's all carved into this shape. All the edges around it have been carved and worked. And it's set up here as a monument of some kind. And there's a natural walkway through the wall here. And you can see the flat stone. This is a very interesting piece because, I mean, it seems like a face to me. It has petroglyphs on it. There's one there. And there's one there. And it seems like it's pointing you through the wall in that direction, and it means something. It's a Manitou stone, it's protection, it's something. But if you continue on and walk in that direction, you'll come to a chamber. And it's actually a shaft that goes into the ground. It's right down over there. Comes this way, and it's all made of megalithic stones, big, huge blocks, and it's very old and it's submerged in the ground. The farmer built a road up behind it a while back, and it caused it to flood. But when it dries out, I'm able to get in there, and it's a shaft that goes in the ground. It's probably 30 degrees. Towards the east. It faces the west. But this seems to point right to it for some reason. And it seems like it's the oldest structure around, that corbelled chamber. And there's chambers in this wall. I've found things inside this wall. Carvings of elephants and shaman stones and crystals and things like that. And you can see this here. Called a niche, I believe. It's on this natural bedrock sticking out here, and it creates a three-sided rectangle space behind the niche. And this was what I believe a university. I'll call it that because a place of learning, telling stories. I say that because in this chamber were many stones that had images on them. The oldest stones looked very, very ancient. Carvings of mammoth and ape-like carvings. And that stone is shaped like the one I showed you. The shield, or the face, has that same shape to it. And if you look at these stones closely, lots of them have been carved and shaped. A lot of them were just placed there, but many of them were shaped and put into certain places. And you'll find granite in certain places, you'll find quartz in certain places. The way they made these walls, it was a technology of some kind. I mean, you have to be in their mind to know what they wanted in the end, but in the end it was a wall that did not fall down. Look at that piece of bedrock. It's just a huge piece of bedrock holding up this wall, and that was placed there. See how they lay it on top of each other? Big stones. I mean, it takes more than two guys to lift that stone and move it. So how many guys can you get around that stone to bring it up here from down there or down there and put it on this ledge? It's a lot of work. So the importance of this wall, you can tell by the stones they put in it and how they laid them. And all the different sections of the wall have all different functions. Some tell stories. It continues on that way, and my property ends where that big rock is, and it continues on. There's a standing stone up there which lines up with the wall and looks to the east. There's another one there in the distance looking to the east. Stone walls of New England are not so easily described as farmers' walls. And if you try, you'll make no sense at all. So, without even taking a look at it, the state archaeologist says, oh, farmers threw those up to clear their fields. That's what they're thinking. I mean, what are they thinking? To me, that's not thinking. That's ridiculous. That's just, I don't know what to call it. Well, if farmers threw this up, compliments to them. But I don't believe it for a second. These are ancient megalithic structures. This one lines in a straight line, north-south, looking east and west, and you can see both horizons from this point. Perfect astronomical instrument, built by megalithic builders, probably much larger than ourselves. Giants were found in this area. In fact, where I am is on a ridge line that goes south to Bellows Falls and further south, but just about 5 miles from here, giant skeletons were dug up. Not more than 100 years ago. Giant hominids whose bones have disappeared and been forgotten about. But the old records are still there and you can read about them. And there's 2 burial mounds right back there. This is the east side. When the sun rises, it shines on those mounds. And the west side is agriculture. That's where they grew their corn and their beans and their squash, right out there, or whatever they were eating. I find their implements, their tools out there. And out here I find burial objects and ceremonial objects. Lots of white quartz in the quarry over there. There's a big piece right there on the wall. Big piece. Stone walls of New England, my friends. Built by megalithic ancient civilization. Who knows? Maybe they got wiped out by a pandemic thousands of years ago. This is Jimmy here in Paleo Mountain, Vermont. Everyone have a great day.